Well, hi there. Oh, good morning. Good morning. I need to turn the light on. Ah, there, a little better. Hey, how's everybody this morning? Nice to be with you. Nice to have, nice to have this gang of lovers in here. Let's see what do I need to do. Oh, all right. I'm doing it. I got it together without knowing I got it together. That's fairly amazing. Hmm. Okay, let's see who else is here who I have not yet acknowledged. Dube's World. Hello, Dube's World. Good to see you. Uh, RB Animals and Movies. Hi there. 3G. Hello, hello. Christina Whitaker. Nice to see you, Christina. And Glitch Aquatics. Hi. I said earlier, hello earlier to Glitch, but I just want to say it again because I appreciate you very, very much. U.S. Caper, am I blacklisted? Can you all not see my comments? You're not blacklisted, and we can see your comments. Are you seeing your comments? I don't understand. No, U.S. Caper, you got a wrench. You are in good standing, near as I can tell. A dupe saying I've been looking for you. Patricia Powers, hello, hello. Joshua Miller, good morning, Joshua. Nice to see you. By the way, Joshua, I've got your airline I need to send you. Um, and I do have your address. I just need to get my butt in gear and do it. Dubes, how's it going? Well, it's going. It is going. I think I've stirred up a bit of a hornet's nest over on my other channel. Oh, it's not that I want to do that. It's just that if I don't do that, then I'm exceeding the stuff that I really don't appreciate. So what do you do? I could walk away, ignore it, but there's too much of that going on. Seems to me that's the problem. Too many people walking away and just trying to somehow escape. Escape. You can't escape consequences, you know? You're going to be affected no matter what. So you may as well stand and face it. Do what you can to fight it. How much shipping I need, I'll let you know, Joshua. I think you already paid for it, though. Let me double check. I believe you did. Not got a channel. I not got a channel. I got a channel. Yeah, I've got two channels. I have this channel, which is the fish channel, and I try to keep it pretty clean. I mean, I try to keep it above board, try to keep it about fish. Once in a while, things will sneak in, but I don't try to get into it deeply here. I created another channel to do that, and I call that other channel Lou Foxwell. That's my name. Father Fish is not my name. Father Fish is my persona. It is that which I love. I mean, I love my name, but I love Father Fish. I cherish Father Fish. And I try to make Father Fish cherishable and loving, and generous and helpful and, all of that. Lou Foxwell, on the other hand, is a bit irascible. Now, Father Fish can be as well, but not nearly to the extent. I just, that's why I've banished him to another channel. Let's see. Dube's World. Looking today, but couldn't find you. Papa Shrimp. Hello, Papa Shrimp. Motor City Aquatics. Hi there. Who not got a channel? U.S. Scaper. Follow your heart. There you go, Joshua. Follow your heart. That's it. That is it. If 86 degrees kills ick, is it beneficial to keep your tank that temperature? That's a really good question. Is it beneficial? Well, part of the problem with doing that is that the higher the temperature, the greater the risk of bacteria blooms. So there's kind of a balancing act with that. You can do it, but you gotta have a pretty well balanced tank to be able to pull it off. Otherwise, if you overfeed and that food lays there for a day, you could wind up with a dead tank. You could wind up with the bacteria just blooming out of control, depriving the system of its oxygen and suffocating the fish. So I don't recommend it. There are people who keep discus, for example, at 86 degrees. They're very careful about it. They know what they're doing. And they get away with it because they're very careful about it and they know what they're doing. So, yeah, you can do it. Just be aware that you're running a risk by doing it and be sensitive to that risk. Make sure you're not succumbing to that risk. And yeah, you'll presumably be fine. I think it's not worth the risk, personally. Good question. Thank you, Rigo. U.S. Scaper. I do have one. Gaggle, my name is spelled. Don't forget the underscores. Then I don't know what it's referring to. Let's see. Dooby-doo-doo. Misfit. Hello, hello, Misfit. Elaine Lukehart. I used Hungry Jack instant potatoes for 5 micro and banana worm cultures, and they're all getting white mold. Could I not be using enough yeast? Oh dear. Hmm. Well, yeast is really critical to dominating mold. So, yeah, if you put yeast on that and put it on, a layer thick. I usually when I put yeast in, I cover the entire surface one one yeast what are they called, those little grain, one yeast grain deep. Just cover the whole thing with it, and I never get mold. But yeah, I think you're right. I think without that, you're going to get mold. The other critical issue when you create these cultures is to make them deep, not shallow. By making them shallow, you create an environment that breaks down too easily and fouls. And it will always foul. It may take a week or two, but it's going to foul. If you do a deep, here, I've got one here. If you do a deep one, now I started this all the way at the top, and it's now almost halfway down. That's how much conversion has taken place. So I pulled out worms equal to the level of conversion. By the way, the black line there is ants. They got into it because I had some holes in the top. I plugged them up and they died. But there's no odor there, none at all. I've got worms on the side. Just looking to make sure. Yeah, it's very much alive. Strong culture. I'm sure you can't see the culture moving. Let's try this. I don't know if you can see. This doesn't focus the way I'd like it to. Yeah, can't really see the culture moving. Can't get a proper focus with the camera. But in any case, this was set up about 6 months ago and has been going strong. Now, I used rice. You can use any medium. A potato is fine, any medium at all. I filled it to within an inch from the top. And then I put a live culture on it, a starter culture, and then added yeast to it. And I put yeast in about once a week. It's due now, in fact. Well, let me do it, show you how I do this. I'm using this Fleischmann's Active Dry because I can get a large amount of it pretty cheaply. You can use any kind of yeast, though. Baker's yeast is good. Now, I put here, got a little bit in there, and I'm going to sprinkle it across the entire surface. And somebody's calling me, and I'm not going to answer. There have been a bunch of municipal alerts going out today, and I expect that's what that is. Okay, anyway, that's the idea. So you see the top is covered now with yeast pretty much all the way across. And what will happen now is the worms are going to explode. They'll just go, whoop. Because that's food for them. So they now have been fed. They're in there. They're doing fine, but now they'll dramatically increase in quantity, and I'll be able to get a harvest. Why am I getting black hair algae, you escaper? You have excess nitrates in your water. You control that in a couple of different ways. A deep substrate will control it. It's almost uncommon. It is uncommon to get blackbeard algae in a deep substrate. It's excess nitrates that are not being burned off by either the substrate or the plants, or just the natural process of the tank. So do water changes? Don't unless. Let me back up a little. Black hair algae is rarely a serious problem. It is for some people unsightly. Others like it. You know, I kind of learned to like it, and then it disappeared. So it'll go away. It's not a permanent condition. It attacks the edge of dead leaves. So it's actually helping to break down humus. In that sense, it's not a bad thing. Occasionally, it will get on and begin attacking perfectly healthy plants. That's uncommon. That happens when there is a profoundly excess level of nitrates. And the blackbeard culture is simply dominant in the tank. So if you need to remove what you need to, it'll grow also on hardscape, particularly on driftwood, because it's absorbing nutrients from the driftwood, but not a bad thing. But try to, if you have it, try to be sensitive to what it's really doing. It may be that it's acting in a way that is helpful in your tank and not dangerous or problematic. Jen said it can be persistent. I thought we'd never get rid of it. Well, it can be. That's true. Alec is saying my discus are kept at 84. Absolutely. And for if you're doing discus, I wouldn't ever keep them below 82. And 84 is more appropriate. Let's see. Somebody posted, oh, the Lou Foxwell channel 3G. Thanks, 3G. Just had a bad ick outbreak. Such a pain. Ended up having to use salt because meds weren't working. Worked like a charm. 86 degrees does too, Jen. You push the temperature up to 86, the ick will disappear in 24 hours. But I'm glad it worked out for you. Salt does work. In fact, the recommended treatment for fish farmers is salt because they're not in a position to be able to raise the temperature on 10,000 gallons or 100,000 gallons of water. What salt does is create, you got to do it judiciously, but it increases the I can't think of the word I want, the pressure of the water, causing the parasite to drop off and to die. It can't tolerate it. Don't let your bubbles go out. Cat disconnected mine once. It was a nightmare. Christina Whitaker, G3G has retracted a message. Downstream, let's follow each other too then. Let's see. The Stencar, Alec keeps his Stencar discus at 84. And that's the temperature they're raised at. So it's important to try to maintain fish in the conditions in which they have been born and raised. Oh, let's see. Garcia Aquatics, good morning. Good morning. Garcia needs a wrench. Let's get you turned blue, Garcia. Let's see. I jumped way down here. I'm trying to back up. Lord. Okay, here we go. Oh, hello, GRB. Nice to see you. US Scaper, my nitrates are 10 ppm. That's not a problem at all. My nitrates in my shop would typically get up to upwards of 400 without any significant debilitating effect. Nitrates rarely will cause a problem. It takes extremely high nitrates to cause a problem. Stephen, the biologist, worked for a lab that did a research project studying precisely the effect of nitrates on fish health. And they discovered that there are effects that tend to be relatively minor until it reaches extreme levels. And by extreme, I mean 400 to 500. So don't get panicked about nitrates going up. You can always do water changes to lower them, but don't feel like they're going to be a major negative impact on your fish, because they really won't. Yeah, blackbeard algae, US scaper, growing on the edges of leaves and wood. And that's typically what it does. It's consuming waste matter. So in that sense, it's really not a bad thing at all. It's really a helpful thing. You may not like the look of it. What do I think of Sechem purigen? What do you think Sechem purigen is? Ha, Alec. Ha, wish I do. I don't know what purigen is. You know, I've tried to dope it out. I know there are people who have figured it out. There was a kid a few years back who figured it out and created a new line of product that he did quite well with. I fiddled with it a little. I don't use it much. I don't use it really at all anymore. Um, it's expensive. It doesn't last a real long time, and I just choose not to continue, putting $30 every 2 or 3 months into the tank to maintain a water quality that I can maintain without it. So, I mean, it's not a bad product at all. It's a nice product, and I know lots of people use it and like it. It's probably most beneficial in saltwater, but again, with saltwater, I mean, I've got two natural saltwater tanks down here that are doing just fine. Thank you very much. And I have deep substrate on them, very deep, as you can see there. That's about 7 inches or better. This is about 4 on this one. And they're doing fine. I've got coral growing in there, fish, all kinds of inverts. I did put a pair of mandarin gobies in each of them last week, and I've seen two in this one and one in this one. So I'm looking for the second one in here. Haven't seen them yet. But I do virtually nothing with these tanks. I've put a bunch of um, macroalgae in them. I've sold a lot of it off too, so it's not nearly as thick as it was. I need to collect more, but I collected it wild and put it in, and it's helping maintain the balance of the tank. So anyway, I could use Purigen in there, but it just becomes another expense, and I really don't see the ultimate value of it. Extra phosphates encourage blackbeard. Yeah, absolutely. Had very low nitrates with a bad infestation. Yeah, it certainly can. Certainly can. But again, it's got to be able to feed on something. And generally what that means is it's feeding on waste material. It's a rather unique algae in that respect. It doesn't float around in the water. It attaches itself. And if you pay attention to what it is attaching itself to, typically it's dead or dying organic material. So think about it and decide what you really want to do about that. Excuse me. Municipal water has high phosphates. Yeah, phosphate remover is not a bad idea. A lot of plants will do that, though. If you really load it up with plants, you're going to be able to control phosphates pretty well. Joshua sent me a video of this white microworm culture to get a close up. I don't know. Where is it? Where'd you send it, Joshua? Is it in Discord or where? Let's see. Bubbles and no ammonia nitrate and only a fraction of nitrate. So Christina's going to check phosphate. Certainly possible. Lacy fins, temp high, as the fish can handle, and a tablespoon of salt per 2 gallons for 2 to 3 weeks. Small daily water change to bring the salt down after cure. You're talking about your ick cure. Right. That's right. That's fine. Certainly can do that. I'm not averse to using salt as a curative for ick. I have found personally that it's unnecessary because I can always eradicate it with temperature. It has worked for me 100% of the time. 86 degrees and it's gone. And 24 to 48 hours. Let's see, Vaughn Jatan, would I recommend mixing clay into the soil for a dirted tank? Absolutely. Clay is very high in minerals. It's probably the most beneficial material that you can have in a garden, in any kind of plant growing um, system. The difficulty with clay is that it is very, very dense, and roots cannot permeate it, cannot penetrate it. So what you have to do if you're going to mix it with soil, which I recommend, is an easy way to do this is to liquefy it. And if you put clay in water, it's going to turn to mud. So if you will do that and then pour that in with the dirt and mix it all up, you're getting that clay mixed throughout. You're breaking it up so that it becomes accessible to plant roots and really making that very high mineralization available for nutrition. So yes, absolutely. Can I put Phosguard in my aqua clear filter? You can. You certainly can. Best to raise the salt a tablespoon an hour after initial dose. Lacey's talking about her salt cure for ick. Let's see. Roman GRB says, please consider hitting the light. Thank you. Quite so. Yeah, Lacey said that salt treatment is also good for curing nearly all external parasites. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. It is a good method. Debbie said my husband is using Purigen in the Blackbeard algae tank. Let us know how that works out. Chris, do I still have the siren and turtle? Well, let's see. If I can move this. There's the siren. And there's, can you see him? I put some styrofoam in there for him to climb out on. And he's out there. He's been there for 2 days now. So he's enjoying that. And the siren. So yes, certainly do still have them. As a result, I have a very dirty tank, which I would love to clean up. But, I can't do a whole lot with those beasts in there. Let's see. Fatherfish, do you vacuum your sand surface ever? How do you take care of fish poop on sand surface? Well, okay, that's very fair. I have 2 tanks that have a lot of mold in them. The one you just looked at, and it's bad. And yes, I'm going to go in and siphon it. I could put another inch of sand in there, and that would take care of it. The reality is I've got 5 inches of sand in there, and I need to get some control over it. So, yeah, once I get in there, I'm going to take about an inch of this. I've got gravel on the top. Take about an inch of that out. Take as much of the mulm out as I can, and then add another inch of sand to it. Same thing over here with this 40. That's got mulm in it that's so thick it's distressing. So I need to get in there and siphon that out. And that's really all I need to do. Now, again, I could add an inch of sand, and that would take care of it. But I've got 5 inches of sand in there, and I really don't need more. So the better option at this point is to remove that mulm, drop the sand level down an inch, and then replace it with new sand. That's a bit awkward to do, but if you look at this tank, it's exactly what I did there, and it's cleared it up. There's no mold in there. There is humus, and that's humus. That's leaf litter. So I've got that in there, but it's not mulm. The mulm is sifting down into the sand, and it's doing a pretty good job. So yes. Siren is a boss. I've had him, I don't know how long I've had him, 3 to 4 years at least, maybe longer. What's the purpose of peat moss and setting up a tank substrate? Couldn't find it the first time. Well, it does a number of things. It aerates the soil for one thing, and that may be its most important function. It also is humus. So it's providing a really basic nutritional providing basic nutritional value to the system. Humus is broken down by microfauna, bacteria, and fungus, and becomes kind of the basic product of the food web. So it's really pretty important and pretty valuable. It has certain chemical effects. I mean, by putting essentially biologicals, plant material in, you're running the risk of dropping the pH. I try to compensate for that with carbonates, and that works out pretty well to be able to hold the pH up. But yeah, I really like peat moss. I like it a lot, and I use it a lot. It comprises probably 50% of the material in my substrate. Let's see, Lacey's saying peat is for acidic water and tannins, but Indian almond leaves are much better choice and more environmentally friendly as peat bogs are overfarmed. Yeah, the lost it. Let's see. Chris is saying he's had great experience with Wet Spot, high grade fish, good customer service. Yeah, the business about peat moss. I am not aware. I mean, who's saying this? Lacey is saying that peat moss is overfarmed. Might be. I really don't know. I assume that it's not being created in substantial quantities. And I know it's farmed in Canada, but I really don't know anything about the farming of peat moss as to the impact of farming on its it's really a natural product, and certainly it can be depleted, and it's not going to replace itself very quickly. So there is certainly a danger of that. I'm not aware of the impact of that practice. So would like to learn more about it because it's a product I really very much like to use. What kind of siren? It's the greater siren. It's not the lesser. Misfit. Recommended salt dose per gallon. We have a salt expert in here. I'm gonna let her take care of that. Aquahuna. Oh, another supplier. Okay. Oh, let's see. Is balm bad for Corydoras? No, not at all. In fact, it's highly beneficial for Corydoras because it creates an environment in which microfauna thrive, which is the natural food for Corydoras. So it's really very beneficial for cories. My son keeps turtles. I get so many tanks and filters from it for free because I can fix them. They scratch out the silicone. I just reseal. They really do. Any kind of reptile that's in a fish tank is going to scratch the silicone out of the corners. So if you're taking a tank that has had reptiles in it, reseal it with silicone. Try to clean the old silicone out without digging between the glass. Just get what's on the surface scraped off, and then run a new bead on it, and press that in there. Always a good idea. The claws on reptiles are so fine and so sharp that they do scrape the silicone, and they can penetrate the silicone. So it's always a good idea to reseal any tank that has had reptiles in it. Yeah, Jen, a tablespoon per 5 gallons. That's my formula, and that's kind of minimum. That raises the salinity level about 0.01, about 1/100th of 1%. Poor water conditions damage cory bulbs. Absolutely true, Rohan. Thank you for that. Coconut fiber. Coconut fiber is great. Yeah, it's a perfect alternative to. It's a perfect humus. A perfect alternative to peat moss. Lacey, one per 5. Add a teaspoon an hour till it's 1 to 2 gallons. So about double that. 3 teaspoons in each tablespoon, right? Well, yeah, Rohan, the cories will stir up the mold and make it cloudy. They certainly will. A lot of things will do that. I have that going on every day. I've got 2 moldy tanks here that I really need to deal with. But it's not. Chris saying, I've heard peat moss is unsustainable practice. Is that because of its availability? It's certainly not because it in any way doesn't persist, because it does. It persists as humus. Proud Indian, take care. Nice to have you with us. Lacey is he. I'm sorry, Lacey. Been in before under Jason. Okay. Originally switch the name I'll be using for my business. Thank you so much, Lacey. You've been really helpful in here today. I very much appreciate your input. And I do like to get genders right. I just don't have a long list of them, but I do like to get them right. Pepper. For those of us who garden, as a general rule, peat moss if you're in the north and coconut fibers in the south. The U.S. limits CO2, but up for debate. Interesting. Boy, this is off today. You can buy coconut fiber. Yeah, you can buy coconut fiber. You can buy blocks of it, as compressed blocks. It's sold as litter for reptiles. I don't know how else you can get it. I'm sure there are a lot of other ways to be able to get it, but it's compressed in bricks and is available in that way. Misfit, I recently acquired a massive piece of ruby red carpet anemone, having issue getting it to settle and stay in one place. Any idea what I can do? It's 14 inches across, so it's massive. Wow. The problem is, until it attaches, it's just going to move around. What you could do is tie it down. Use some monofilament and just tie it onto a piece of hardscape, rock coral, whatever, and give it time to attach. That'll work, and it'll work pretty well, and it's not going to injure the animal. Ruby red carpet anemone. Yeah, be somewhat careful doing that. You don't want to cut it. You could cut into it. Generally, with anemones, you just let them roll around until they find a place they like, and they'll settle down. Now, if you got so much water movement in there that they can't settle down, then you got another issue. If you can find a quiet place, I just had that happen with a moon jelly. Had a moon jelly going all over the place. And I finally found a place where, I don't know if you can see it. I can't get my camera very close. It's right here in the corner alongside the filter, right up against the glass. I got it down in there, and there's very little water movement there. So it's doing fine. It's been there for 3 or 4 days. Now that's an anemone that does not attach to anything. It just lays on the bottom and pulses. So it needs to have a quiet place. I'm sorry. I need to take a quick break here. Give me a minute. Carry on. Be right back. Ugh. Tough being an old man. Hello, Randy Coke. Koch, Coke, Dollar General, $1 a square coconut fibers. Oh, there you go. Misfit. Fatherfish has been moving around for a couple of weeks now. I've moved all power heads around. I've got dead spots specifically to try to get him to chill out. Yeah, it can be tricky. He will. I mean, in time, he'll settle down. Part of the problem with anemones is they're looking for a place where there is a little bit of current so that the food will go by them. So it's kind of problematic. Um, I've noticed generally that given time, they settle down. They find a place they like, they attach to it, um, and and uh, and then when they don't like it anymore, they lift their foot up and get rolled around some more. So anemones tend to find the kind of place they want to be and put down roots. Christina gardening, but here only in spring. Miss what? I don't know what she's talking about. Misfit just put a picture in pictures and videos on the Discord channel. Huh. Cannot stop algae, Jason says. Cannot stop algae. Generally, algae occurs in an environment that has insufficient higher order plants. So the best solution, other than controlling nitrates in the water, slowing down food, putting it in a deep sand bed, doing water changes, and so forth, is to add a lot of plants. Really load it up with plants. Not 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, but 30 or 40 or 50. I mean, thick with plants. You still will get some algae, but you'll be able to control it. Christina, my husband compares my fish keeping to a drug addiction. Well, it is a kind of addiction, but let's call it a very healthy one. Dad Wagon agrees with J Dog. Yeah, I agree with J Dog too, and I don't even know what he's saying. Who is that? Dad Wagon and Jason Dongan. Got a bunch of new people in here. Whoops, I did. Did I give Jason? Wait a minute. I did. Jason has a wrench. It just hadn't shown up yet. Is that right? Yes. And Dad Wagon has a wrench that hasn't shown up. Well, salt water is the way to go, though. I love me some Reese. Couldn't agree more. Love saltwater tanks. And they're really not nearly as difficult as they're made out to be. Dad Wagon, life made me give up my fish. Father Fish saved them. Happy to be there to do that. Anytime I can encourage someone to keep fish, I'm all up for it. Let's see. Aquatic Nest. Hello, Aquatic Nest. Nice to see you. There's J Dog. US Caper, everyone's tap water is different. Yep, region to region is absolutely right. Yeah, and Dad Wagon says once they're set up and stable, it's cake. Absolutely right. You know, a saltwater tank is probably more stable than a freshwater tank once it is stable. Once you achieve stability, it'll lock in. The only real issue is maintaining a constant salinity level, which means doing top offs with RO water on a routine basis. Now you can control that by keeping a lid on it, holding evaporation down. And basically that's what I try to do with my salt tanks. I've got glass covers on them. It keeps the evaporation down. Evaporation's the real killer because it drives the salinity up higher and higher, which puts more and more stress on the animals. So if you're going to do salt water, you want to pay attention to salinity. The easiest way to do that is to have a jug of RO water, which you can get cheaply. It's like a quarter a gallon out of the machines, sitting alongside the tank. Make a mark at the level at which the salinity is where you want it. When the water goes below that, pour some RO water in to bring it back up to that mark. You can do that on a daily basis with no strain at all. It's just really not a big deal. I had mine set up at the shop with automatic top off for RO. And once I did that, it was perfect. It was never a problem. Maintained a very high level of stability and everything was healthy. So that's probably the biggest issue. Yeah, Dead Wagon used RODI to top off salt water. Takes just about a year or so to get it stable. Mine were set up for about 10 years. And the longer they were up, the better they got. It may have taken a year. I don't really remember because I don't remember. I know in those first years you're fussing with it more. Yeah, Dead Wagon saw my Tang swimming around last week behind you. Her name is Teresa, and she is a dear. And she loves all of this macroalgae. Look how fat her belly is. She just did Teresa. She's doing really well. Now I got these two magnificent, beautiful, beautiful clowns, and one of them disappeared basically day one. The other one's doing just fine. And I'm very disappointed because that was quite a unique pair, and it's going to be really hard to replace that second fish. So, thought I'd inform you of that, sad as it may be. But the other one's doing just fine. I don't know what happened. It may have gotten trapped. Might still be in there. It's possible, but pretty unlikely that it would stay hidden that long. There are Vander and Gobies in there. I mentioned that. They hide a lot, though. I don't see any of them, and I know they're in there because I saw them yesterday. So, Teresa is it? Yeah, this is good. Rohan, the RO water filter system at home wastes lots of water. Can that water be used in planted tanks? Absolutely. That's exactly the water I used in all of my freshwater fish, freshwater tanks, except the ones that I wanted to have lower pH. And then I used RO water in those. But in all of my standard tanks, I use the wastewater from the RO system. You absolutely can use that. I found it very beneficial to being able to maintain stable environments and to keep the pH up. So it was obviously harder water, but that really didn't seem to bother anything. It was good for the plants. Debbie's saying, my husband has a touch, but not the total addiction yet. He'll get there. He'll get there. It is a pretty fish, isn't it, Miss Vet? Should one tie Java fern or super glue it? Any preference and why? Tying it is less toxic. The difficulty with gluing is that whatever part of the plant you touch with the glue kills that part of the plant. And it can become problematic if you're putting big globs of it on. If you're going to use glue, you use a tiny drop. The tinier, the better. Or tie it on. I use green monofilament, thin green monofilament, so you really don't see it. But I've done both. And I really like the glue. It makes it very simple and easy to do. And if you're doing a lot of it, it's really very helpful. Does the polymer rosin RO type waste water? Well, they all waste water. The trick is to figure out a use of that water so you're not wasting it. Jan, Father Fish, I love all your tanks. Must be wonderful sitting with all of them. They're getting better and better. They've been. I'm still not happy. I don't have near the plants in them that I want. I just sold off so many plants. I need to find a way to deal with that. At the shop, it was fine because I could get them in all the time, move them out. Here, it's different. I need to have them heavily planted, ongoing, and not be pulling plants out all the time to sell them. So I'm struggling with that and trying to figure out how to deal with it. I think I've got a fix for it. So next week, it'll be the first of the month. I'll put a big order of plants in and try to get them up and keep them up then. Are all RO systems produce wastewater? They certainly do. They certainly do. Romualdo Cagigas. Ronaldo Cagigas. Let's give him a wrench. There we go. Hackleish Tupa, thank you for the virtual. Thank you, Achilles. Dana Fritz. I learned from a friend to tie plants with your hair if you have long enough. It'll break down as the plant attaches itself naturally. Now, that's pretty good. I like that a lot. And you can use several strands then. Well, we had a power outage, blew a circuit. Don't know why that happened. Um, but I'm back. Hair produces nitrogen, but so does every organic. True enough. GRB's taken off, frozen. Um, yeah, blew a circuit. Nicole Rowe. Hello, Nicole. Roman says deep substrates what saved the hobby. For me, true of a lot of people, myself included. It was really chaotic before I finally started doing deep substrate, and that just stabilized everything. Jason and Knees, setting up deep substrate, 4 tanks finished, all of them going wonderfully. Thank you. Well, thank you, Jason. Where else? We're over our time, aren't we? Gonna call 9/11. Ah, thank you. We're done. I know. Wanted to know if it's possible to use deep substrate system in a pond. It's 400 square feet, same ingredient, but scaled up. Yeah, absolutely. And it works brilliantly in a pond. Now, one of the things you can do in a pond is you can reduce the level of the sand, or you can use nothing but sand. Either way works. You can do a dirted bottom, in other words, with a shallower sand bed, but it depends entirely on the kind of fish. If you've got koi or goldfish, then my recommendation is pure sand and no dirt. They'll just keep it stirred up all the time because they're a bottom feeder and they're rooting around forever. Or if you have large catfish, plecos or whatever, just straight sand. If it's a very like tubbing typically works really well with a dirt bottom and even no sand because you're not going to have the kind of animals that are going to stir it up and it'll really glum up very heavily with plant material. The more plants you have, the more fish can survive in that environment. So it's not an either or. And a very intense, thick plant growth creates an environment in which many more fish can survive. Christina, hair is super long, gets into everything, always pulling it out of my hang on the backs. Interesting. All right. Well, we are over 10 o'clock here, so I guess we really ought to wrap it up. A bunch of people are departing company, so I think we'll do that. Let's see if we can get a little music back on. We'll go off with a tune or two. Kind of funny, I had one up and I lost it. So it's all right. We'll just do another one, won't we? Right here. Oh, you know what I need to do though? I need to put share screen up like so. Hey, hey. Ooh. All right. Well, God bless you all. Good to be with you. Nice to have you here. You're calling Bristol. Hello. No, you just got here. Or just leave. It's so sad. So sad. Christina, God bless you. You be there? Ciao. Rohan. Love you all. Take care. Have a wonderful day. See you Friday. Be here Friday evening. Have fun. I'm here, Fishy here. It'll be great fun. See you all writing. Come visit us on Discord. Got a lot of fun with it. Bye.